There's a special kind of heartbreak reserved for when your favorite artist quietly slips away from the limelight. No grand announcements, no farewell tours, just radio silence. In this video, we'll look at 8 artists that seem to have retired without telling us. Rihanna. For a decade, Rihanna dominated pop, R&B, and dance charts with a relentless string of hits. Exploding onto the scene in the mid-2000s, she cemented her legacy as a hitmaker, scoring a total of 14 number ones on the Billboard Hot 100. But her latest album is still Anti from 2016, which was an instant classic, cementing her as an artist unafraid to push boundaries. But since then, crickets. Sure, she teased fans endlessly with whispers of R9, her 9th studio album, but year after year, fans were left high and dry. Instead, Rihanna shifted focus to her widely successful Fenty empire, including beauty and lingerie lines, redefining what it means to be a multi-hyphenated superstar. She also became a mother, and it feels like she has lost her passion for music. She may not have uttered the words "I'm retired," but it sure looks like it. She performed at the Super Bowl back in 2023, which gave fans hope for new music, but it turned out to be a nostalgic trip through her old hits, a glaring reminder that, for now, she's more of a business mogul than a singer. Just earlier this year, she said that she was going to start working on her album.
And now I'm prepared to go back in the studio. So I'm prepared. So I'm gonna start. So don't.
But I wouldn't hold my breath. A leaked video of her at a party showed that music wasn't her true passion, as she found that with fashion.
I would say music was the thing that got the attention, but God had other plans for me, and
I think she has retired and doesn't have the heart to tell us. Justin Bieber. Justin Bieber's journey from a teen heartthrob to a global superstar has been nothing short of a roller coaster. He has released hit albums, endured public scrutiny, and even made a remarkable comeback with purpose in 2015. It wasn't all smooth sailing. Health scares with Lyme disease and battles with mental health took a toll. In 2022, he even paused his world tour, citing exhaustion and health issues. His latest album was released back in 2021, and he has not been active in the music scene for a while now. While Bieber hasn't officially declared himself retired, the signs are there. His sporadic releases feel like an artist weighing whether music is worth the grind anymore. I mean, he has been through a lot in the music industry. Back in 2023, he sold his music publishing rights for a reported $200 million. He cashed out. He was said to be working on a new album, but it feels like his heart is not in it anymore. He's a father now, and he's now focused more on personal growth, spirituality, and building a life outside of the spotlight. Maybe he'll return with a fresh perspective, but I think his time as a pop star is over. He just hasn't announced it yet. Frank Ocean. Frank Ocean's music career has always been shrouded in mystique. His debut Channel Orange and the follow-up Blonde made him a legend, showcasing his raw talent, transforming the landscape of modern R&B. Fans waited 4 long years between the albums, but since 2016, Frank has been MIA. Besides a handful of sporadic releases and features here and there, he's essentially ghosted the music industry. This was clear when his much-anticipated headlining performance at Coachella 2023 quickly became infamous due to a series of missteps and last-minute changes, leaving fans disappointed and the festival itself facing backlash. He was over an hour late and delivered a lackluster performance, turning his fans against him. For an artist who treasures privacy and refuses to play by industry rules, his long hiatus is less surprising and more bittersweet. He keeps the public at an arm's length to keep away from public scrutiny, but he is also shortchanging his fans. Every Frank Ocean fan is in a weird place, thinking maybe he'll drop new music, or maybe he won't. Until then, it feels like a quiet, unannounced retirement. I mean, it has been 8 years. Fergie. In the mid-2000s, Fergie was unstoppable after dominating as a member of the Black Eyed Peas. Her debut solo album, The Duchess, became a cultural phenomenon. It spawned chart-topping hits like Fergalicious, Big Girls Don't Cry, and of course, Glamorous. Fergie had the swagger, charisma, and unique sound that set her apart as one of pop's defining voices of that era. She then went back to her group and dropped the record-breaking album The End, completely dominating the charts in the late 2000s. She took a long break from music after that, and by the time her long-awaited follow-up album Double Dutchess dropped in 2017, the music landscape had changed dramatically. While Fergie attempted to recapture her past glory, the reception was lukewarm at best, and the album flopped. Despite visually captivating music videos, Double Dutchess failed to ignite the same spark. This also happened around that time.
The home of the...
Since then, radio silence. Fergie stepped back from the Black Eyed Peas, took a hiatus from releasing new music, and has seemingly embraced a quieter life, focused on family. She was also in the wine business and sold her winery for millions, so she's not strapped for cash. The Black Eyed Peas have been releasing new music, but they made it clear that Fergie would not be involved. There was no retirement announcement, but it feels like she has stepped away from the music industry without telling us. Jay-Z. For over 2 decades, Jay-Z ruled hip-hop. While he's far from forgotten, it has been years since he released a studio album, with the hunger and ambition of his early albums disappearing over time. After 444 in 2017, his solo musical output slowed considerably. Sure, there have been collaborations, like his appearance with Beyonce on Everything Is Love under their duo name The Carters, and his collab album with Jay Electronica, A Written Testimony. He also dropped a few guest features here and there, but the prolific force behind the blueprint and the Black Album seems to have left the building. Part of this feels intentional. Jay-Z's focus shifted to business ventures. He's become a billionaire, launched companies, and even owned a stake in the Brooklyn Nets at one time. The rap game doesn't seem to be in his list of priorities. He once announced his retirement back in 2003, only to return and release more albums. But now, with his age and priorities shifting, his silent exit from solo projects signals a retirement. Fans hold out hope that another album is in the works, but with every passing year, it seems unlikely. At this point, Jay-Z is a business mogul first, not really a rapper. 50 Cent. Remember the days when 50 Cent dominated the charts with his gritty anthem and unapologetic bravado. His debut album Get Rich or Die Trying was a game changer, and tracks like In the Club and Many Men became cultural staples. But after 2009's Before I Self-Destruct, 50 Cent's music career started to lose steam. He released Animal Ambition in 2014, which failed to capture mainstream success, signaling that his grip on rap's top spot has loosened. But 50 didn't exactly hang around to fight for relevance. Instead, he became a media mogul, producing and starring in the Power franchise. From television and movie deals to brand partnerships, his focus shifted. Music fell to the wayside. Occasionally, he teases new music, but I don't think it's coming. It seems like 50 Cent retired without announcing it, choosing to pursue more profitable avenues. System of the Down. System of the Down emerged as one of the defining bands of the late 90s and early 2000s, with their politically charged lyrics and genre-defying sound, dropping songs that are relevant to this day, like Chop Suey and BYOB. But after their double album Mesmerize and Hypnotize in 2005, they went on hiatus. Reunions from time to time, and a couple of 2020 tracks have given fans faint hope, but there's been no sign of a proper album since. Creative differences between members are a major reason for their prolonged absence. The lead vocalist Serge and guitarist Darren have differing visions that made it challenging to rekindle their former synergy. While they never outright said we're done, the lack of cohesive output and their honest interviews paint a picture of a band whose best days are behind them. They still perform together here and there, but I wouldn't hold my breath for a new album. Outkast. Outkast is a name that needs no introduction for fans of 90s and 2000s hip-hop. Big Boy and Andre 3000 redefined hip-hop with their genre-bending, boundary-pushing albums. Speakerboxxx The Love Below back in 2003 was a phenomenon, spawning hits like Hey Ya and The Way You Move, and winning the Grammy for Album of the Year, making it the last hip-hop album to do so. But after 2006's Idlewild, the duo's collaborations seemed to dry up. Big Boy pursued a solo career, while Andre popped up sporadically in guest verses. Here's the thing, Outkast never officially said they were done, but the prolonged silence between collab albums and Andre 3K's apparent disinterest in the music industry point to an unspoken farewell. Andre has dabbled in acting, fashion in the occasional guest verse, but he has made it clear that he is no longer chasing the spotlight. This year he returned to music, releasing an instrumental album, Playing the Flute, which has now been nominated for a Grammy. Outkast's story isn't much of a formal retirement, as it is a quiet winding down of an era, with two artists drifting apart musically, leaving fans longing for just one more album or tour. Do you think the people I've listed have retired? Tell me in the comments below.